I want to tell you what I know about an iconic, popular, lever-action woods gun that fires a caliber that potentially has put more venison on the table than any other caliber out there. And that is the Marlin 336. Now, as usual, safety first. Safety is on. Now let's check the chamber. No rounds coming out of the ejection port. We're clear. Now, as stated, this is a lever action, and it has a standard narrow loop. Some lever guns, including other Marlins, have a wider loop, and as long as they are cleaned and properly lubricated, they should cycle just fine. It has an exposed hammer here, and when it's fully cocked, the bolt is exposed by the back end of the receiver, and it pushes the hammer all the way back, so it is ready to fire when there is a live round inside the chamber. It has a side loading gate where the cartridges are inserted, and it has a side ejection port that ejects the spent shell casings or live rounds when unloading. The rifle has a crossbolt safety located right here that prevents the hammer from striking the firing pin. You can see here how there is a gap. With the safety disengaged, which is indicated by the red ring there, the hammer rests right on the firing pin. This is the at-rest position. Now, in order to engage the safety, hammer must be pulled back to half cock. Safety can be set. At full cock, rifle is ready to fire. On the top of the receiver, it is drilled and tapped so that the scope can be mounted if so desired. Now, as of now, I do not plan on putting a scope on, at least not until I have learned to shoot well, or at least effectively, using these open adjustable sights. The rifle is bulky and sturdy, which helps to reduce felt recoil. Lever actions generally have manageable or at least tolerable felt recoil depending on the rifle's weight and which caliber it's chambered in. But with the additional bulk with the Marlin, helps to make it a little bit more desirable. This one has a plastic butt pad. A lot other models come with a recoil pad, and this particular one has a 20-inch barrel, but modern models also come with 18-inch barrels. Older models came with different barrel lengths, and it's almost the rule of thumb for the Marlin 336 to come with a 6-shot tubular magazine with one or two exceptions. Marlin 336 comes with a blued finish, blued or chrome finish, I believe. This one is blued. They also come with a black walnut stock, but you can also find them with a laminated hardwood stock. This curve here is considered a pistol grip, and it's far more common to find modern 336s with a pistol grip as opposed to a straight grip, which is a little bit more common in older models. And the checkered texture here makes it so that it's a little easier to grasp and keep a firm, secure grasp when taking aim and shooting. It also has sling mountings. As you can see, I have yet to put a sling on this rifle. The 336 comes in several different varieties, including but not limited to the 336 BL and the 336C. This one is a 336W. And historically, the 336 was chambered in a variety of different rounds, including 44 Magnum and 410 bore shotgun. But those have since been discontinued. Today, The 336 is chambered exclusively in 30-30 Winchester and 35 Remington, with the former being the more common one of the two. And some varieties, such as this one, are chambered exclusively in 30-30 Winchester. And I will elaborate more on the 30-30's fame in just a bit. Marlin Firearms was founded by John Marlin in 1870 in New Haven, Connecticut. Since then, Marlin Firearms has seen its fair share of different ownership. It's had subsidiaries itself, and it's also seen its fair share of relocations. More recently, it was relocated to Madison, North Carolina. I don't know when specifically that was. For a time, they owned H&R Firearms as a subsidiary, but it was owned by Remington at one point in time. I think it was from 2007 to 2020, or maybe beforehand. And as of now, Ruger owns Marlin, and Ruger is the one who manufactures the 336, and they release it under Marlin's brand name. And depending on who owned the company historically, different parts were made in different states and distributed from there. Although Marlin Firearms has been around since 1870, it wasn't until 1948 that the 336 was introduced. However, it was based off the Model 36, which was made from 1936 to 1948. And the Model 36, in turn, was based off the Model 1893, which was made from 1893 to 1935. So, in a way, the 336's roots date well over a century. And today, its receiver is used as a base for other Marlin lever actions, including the 1895 and the 1894, but it has been modified so that they will take other calibers, and they are made with different barrel lengths and different finishes and different kinds of stocks. Since Marlin Firearms was established, a vast variety of firearms have been made historically and today. A lot of them have been discontinued, including their handguns and most of their shotguns. Now today they make semi-automatic, bolt action, and lever actions. And quite possibly the most notable and sought after firearms are their lever guns. A big part of that has to do with their accuracy, their durability, and their reliability. And some, such as this one, though not all of them, are a little bit more affordable. In fact, because of their quick follow-up shots and reliability, lever guns have been used by a few soldiers as far back as the Civil War. They were even mentioned in the book Rifles for Weighty, hence the rifle's name in the title. They were also the gun that won the West sometime after the Civil War. And even though they are no longer used in the military today, they're still very popular in the hands of many different hunters. And they also bring about an awful lot of nostalgia, and a lot of people swear by their reliability, and they just really enjoy being able to hold a very historical gun. So I really do not think that the lever action is going anywhere anytime soon. And because of the lever gun's popularity, there was a time, in fact for a very long time, that both the 336 and the Model 36 competed very fiercely with another famous and iconic, reliable lever gun, the Winchester 94. It's probably, out of all the lever guns out there, those are probably the two that competed head-on the most. And for not centuries, but decades, the Winchester came out ahead of the Marlin, but in the more recent times, the Marlin has come out more victorious. And a big part of that, at least in part, may have had to do that the Marlin comes with the side ejection port, whereas with the Winchester, their ejection port is right on top of the receiver. And both companies still make their respective lever guns today, but there are other popular companies out there that make lever guns as well. Very popular and well-noted one is Henry. They make a vast variety of lever guns with different calibers. And Mossberg, just over a decade ago, jumped in on the bandwagon with their Model 464. The Browning BLR is also a very recognized and renowned lever gun as well. And that one comes in a wide variety of calibers, including bigger bore rounds that can also be used for long-range shooting. And another iconic and successful lever action was the Savage Model 99, but unfortunately that one has been discontinued. Now, of all these fine lever guns that have been mentioned, it was the Marlin and the Winchester that really competed fiercely. However, I personally wonder if Henry has jumped in the competition with Marlin, because they too have very fine lever actions, and they're very ubiquitous. You could find them potentially in just about any other gun store out there. And I did hear at one point in time that their 410 shotguns are competing with Marlin's more recent 1895 lever action 410 bore. So I personally are very curious to see if there is competition, and if there is, how is that going to turn out. The most common chambered caliber in lever actions is the 30-30 Winchester. Now that round has been around since 1895 and has been proven faithful, and thus it contributes so much popularity to the 336 as well as other lever guns. And as a side note, there's been at least one pump action and a few bolt action 30-30s made in the past. And even today, you can occasionally find a single shot break action and even a revolver chambered in 30-30. As I stated in the beginning, the 30-30 has potentially taken down more game than any other caliber used in hunting. With its lighter recoil in comparison to a lot of other hunting rounds, I would imagine this is why a lot of hunters gravitate towards the 30-30, coupled with the fast cycling mechanism of the lever. Now, I myself can attest to the 30-30's lighter recoil. It's definitely more manageable than a 308 or a 30-06. And I'm sure that just about every other shooter out there would agree with me there, even though the 30-30 might not be their favorite round. Now, I have heard that this caliber is an excellent bush gun, which means it could shoot through brush without being detoured or deflected and hit its target. It certainly is not an ideal round for long-range shooting, but a lot of hunters are not long-range shooters to begin with. I certainly am not a long-range shooter. A lot of hunters hunt in the woods, so therefore they're going to be taking closer shots. So, that being said, both those factors give credence to the 336 as being a woods gun. And even though the 30-30 Winchester is not ideal for long-range shooting, its range and how far it can travel should never ever be underestimated. I do not know the ballistics of the 30-30, but as a general rule of thumb, No caliber should ever be underestimated for distance and speed, regardless of how small a size it might be, or if it is an inadequate round for certain kinds of game. 30-30 is no exception, because bullets can travel far and they can be pretty deadly. Now, there are many fine hunting rifles out there, and a plethora of calibers to choose from, and some of those calibers do indeed compete with each other in terms of popularity and ballistics, etc. But at the end of the day, when it comes to lever actions, it's the Marlin 336 that potentially surpasses them all. Now, I have not really had a chance to do a whole lot of shooting with this thing or sight it in, do anything real serious with it, and unfortunately 30-30 is pretty hard to come by these days, so it's gonna be a while before I finally get this thing worked in and taking it out hunting. I really do hope that in the near future the ammo will at least come back to semi-normal. At least price will go down a little bit. You can only hope, right? Hope and pray that one day ammo prices will be normal again and shelves will be restocked and brimming. So anyway, that's all I wrote. I hope that you found this video informative, and to all you hunters out there, good luck, have fun, enjoy the nature, enjoy your camping. I really do wish that I could be out there with you. In fact, that is a big reason why my wife bought me this rifle as an anniversary gift. And I really do look forward to the day where I could trek to the woods carrying this rifle right over my shoulder. Take care, everybody, and be safe.